You've been hitting the gym hard, tracking your progress, hitting PRs almost every other gym session. Everything's going great until it's not. So let's talk a little bit about when and how to deload. So a lot of you know that I did my first bodybuilding show back at the end of May, and after that I started really training hard, packing on some calories, trying to get ready for my first powerlifting show that I'm gonna do, powerlifting meet that I'm gonna do in December is the plan. And so I'm tracking everything, started more of a strength-based training program and been hitting it hard for, what is that? June, July, August, September, almost 5 months, and it's been going really well. I put 50 pounds on my deadlift, 40-ish, I think, on my squat, and then about 25 on my bench press. So stuff's going really well. And you start to think, okay, how long can I do this? How high can you go in a certain amount of time? How do I know when I need to deload? Because I've been watching Renaissance Periodization a lot, and he talks a lot about mesocycles and how you plan a 4 to 6 week cycle of starting a little bit easier, building up, adding more intensity, more volume until you get to the point where all this fatigue is accumulated, and then you need to deload to reset yourself and start the next phase of building up again. And it's always been an interesting topic for me because I have deloaded before I did my bodybuilding show. I went pretty easy the week leading up to the show because I don't want to have inflammation or hurt myself when you're getting dehydrated and all that. Whole nother topic, I've got videos on that. But I've never really done a proper deload because the way my job works, I'm usually gone for 1 to 1.5 weeks a month. So I'll be at home training hard for 3 weeks at a time, then I go out on the road. I still train hard, but I still don't have the same access to whatever equipment I would use at home. So I'm still pushing myself hard to failure, but it's typically with machines, other types of equipment. So I guess in a way it's kind of a deload from what I was doing, but I'm not totally letting my body rest. I'm still pushing things hard. So maybe that's why I was able to go 4 to 5 months of really hitting it hard whenever I'm at home. And I have been sick a few times during that, almost once a month for like a week. I was having issues. I didn't know if it had anything to do with lifting so hard. Maybe y'all can let me know. Have you found any research about training really hard and that leading to you getting sick, if it lowers your immune system for a time or what? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys know more about that. I did a little bit of research, but it's some spotty stuff that I found. But anyways, finally figured out what was wrong with me with all that a few weeks ago, and hopefully should be taken care of soon. But my bench press kind of stalled out at about 25 pounds because the back of the shoulder started hurting, so I was taking it easy, hadn't gone up in a few months, and then once this one felt better, this front of this one started hurting more. So I've just been kind of going through the motions, doing what I can and not pushing it too hard with the heavy weights. My squat has pretty much been plateaued for like a month, maybe 5 weeks, and it's just getting harder and harder. My deadlift was going up steadily, so it's like, well, I'm still gaining in one area, so I'm just gonna keep pushing hard and see what happens. And I see people ask a lot online, hey, I've been training this long, I've been doing this, should I deload? And it's like, you're really the only person that can answer that question. If you feel good, nothing hurts, you're making progress, then you don't really need to deload. And it depends on how long you've been training, beginner, intermediate, advanced. I'm in the intermediate area. I'm starting to get to the point where I found I can't just keep going. I need to work in some deloads there to let my body heal. So what's been happening the last 3 weeks, my hips have really started hurting. Like I said, my shoulders were hurting already, getting kind of beat up. So I have to think, all right, my performance is still going pretty well in most areas, so I'm gonna keep pushing through and see what I can do. But then a week and a half ago, I did a leg session. I did my first set of squats where I normally do 5 reps. I got 3 and I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like I was gonna die, and it was painful too. So I dropped the weight like 20 pounds. I was like, okay, I normally do 9 or 10 reps with this. I got 5 with that. And I dropped it down to like 225 and just did what I could, as many as I could, and then was done and said, okay, I guess it is time to deload. And then when I went to do my bench press the next day, I got under there, started doing it, and same thing. The weight that I've been doing, I was almost 240, working my way back up from my shoulder hurting, and I got 3 reps when I normally do 5. I was like, okay, well, there's another confirmation there. I'll wait till back day. So then went to do my deadlifts, worked through all my warm-up sets, put on 439, and I'd done 437 once, and that felt hard a couple weeks before, or about a week and a half before, when I had to go on a trip for work. And then I tried to do that and I could not. I think it actually came off the ground a tiny bit, but I was like, nope, I'm done. And I could just feel it in my hips, they were hurting. I did some back off sets and the same thing. got 3 reps when I should have gotten 5, got like 6 reps when I should have gotten 9 or 10. So I was thinking, okay, that's my confirmation. So I need to do a deload. And that's how you know, if you're tracking your progress, you should be seeing that progress. And if you don't, or you start going backwards, okay, it's time to deload. I'm going backwards, things are hurting, I'm plateaued. It's time to take a break. And it's hard to do because I always want to do better, but you gotta give your body time to heal. And I thought, okay, how am I gonna do this? Because I have this show now in 7 weeks from the time when I realized, okay, I'm going backwards, I need to do something about this. I keep saying show. Competition, powerlifting meet. I've got bodybuilding shows in my mind because I've been watching Mr. Olympia. But I have this powerlifting meet in 7 weeks. So, okay, if I do a deload, that's gonna take about a week. And then I need to start building back up to where I was and peak at a certain point and then kind of back off a little bit the week before the show so that I can let stuff heal a little bit and then be fresh to hit hopefully new PRs at the meet. So that pretty much gives me what, 4.5 weeks-ish to push myself and get up to where I was or a little bit higher. So the plan for the deload, and I got this from Renaissance Periodization, good channel, a lot of vulgar stuff, which I'm not a big fan of, but a lot of good information that is really helpful. And from what I found for deloading from strength, what I'm planning on doing from everything I found with him was I just finished the first half of my deload week. I pretty much took everything I did for my push-pull leg split, or legs push-pull is how I order it, but so I just went through my list of everything that I normally do, did the exact same workout, but did 75% of the weight on everything. Same volume, I didn't push to failure like if I did 280 for 5 reps on squat. I didn't just cut down 75% of that and try to get more reps. I only did 5 reps. I did the exact same amount of reps as my previous workout. It's not the one where I went backwards on my lifts. So I based it on what my top ability was. So I did that for all 3 leg push-pull days, and now I just started the second half of the week where I'm doing the exact same thing, but now 50% of the weight. So it's really easy. Like today, I was doing deadlifts, and I think I was warming up with like 65 pounds. It just felt weird because it felt like I was hardly lifting anything off the ground. And then I'm doing a top single of 225 and then doing sets of 5 with 205 and then 185 for a higher rep set, and it just feels super easy. But in that second half is really just gonna feel like you're doing a warm up. So I did my normal legs push pull the first half of the week on each of their own days, but the second half is so easy you could really combine it if you even wanted to, after your 3rd day, take a couple days off and then do everything in one day, because it's like you're doing one long warm-up session. It's really easy, and you almost think, oh, why don't I just brush it off and do nothing? But the whole point of this is you could recover by doing nothing, but you are gonna lose a lot of strength in that amount of time. And it's not so much that you're gonna maintain your strength, but going through the motions helps you with your technique and keeping it spot on. So even when I was doing those warm-up sets with 65 pounds on the deadlift, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about each rep, standing up straight, back straight, keeping my lats engaged, holding the bar back, and everything as straight as I can. So as I go through all my sets, I keep the technique the same. So you don't go for a week and then try to throw this heavy weight on again and then be like, oh my goodness, this is hard. So get through that. I mean, it's been nice because it's a mental break too. The thought last week of trying to lift over 400 pounds again on the deadlift, I was like, oh my gosh, I just don't even want to do this. My hips have been hurting. And today, everything was fine. Hips are feeling a lot better, going through the motions, getting through all this so that when I get to next week and I'm gonna start going back up, I'm not gonna just go right back into the heaviest weight I did before, because that's gonna be a big shock on my body. Like I was saying with my kind of deloads when I go out on the road, I would do something different, but when I got home, I'd pick up right back where I was, try to hit a new high of weight or reps each time. And so I was really just taking a beating over and over again. And it was hard. The first workout home after a trip every time, I got through typically what I was able to do last time and then pushed harder the next workout after that. But it's a lot. It takes a lot out of you. So I haven't completely decided how I'm going to work back into it, but from what I understand, going at about 82.5% of your 1 rep max at the minimum is good for strength training for 3 to 6 reps. So my plan is to initially, my first 3 workouts back is to do that 80, maybe 85% of my 1 rep max. And then I'll go through it, and if that's too easy, then bump it up a little bit and on the next one. And then hopefully I should be able to add 5 to 10 pounds on all my lifts leading up to that meet. And then hopefully hit some new PRs at the meet, everything will feel good, and then take a little bit longer deload after that and maybe go back to a more hypertrophy-based plan for a few months to kind of do something new, refresh my brain, and then maybe hit some new highs. Because I do eventually want to get to a 500 deadlift, a 405 squat, and a 315 bench. Definitely not doing it this time, but those are some goals. So going back and forth helps build some extra strength. You use that for hypertrophy, get the muscles bigger, go back to strength, back and forth. Plan to do another bodybuilding show sometime next year as well. So we'll see how all that plays out, but let me know if you have any questions about this. It's kind of new for me, so I'm going through this. Just want to keep y'all informed of what I'm doing, how it helps, and see if there's anything I need to improve. If you guys think there's a better plan, feel free to let me know down in the comments, because I like to learn from people that have done this stuff a lot already. Like, subscribe, check out Instagram for that progress leading up to the powerlifting meet and other stuff going on. And I'll see you guys in the next one.